a tropical paradise along the equatorial belt, comprising an astounding string of 17,000 plus islands, bounded by 2 oceans, home to abundant sea life. Indonesia is the epicenter of marine biodiversity. Professional dive operators providing international standard gear and services, supported by a highly experienced dive staff. Endless underwater gems waiting to be discovered. Boasting hundreds of stunning dive sites, catering to divers of all levels. Dive breathtaking drop-offs and explore old shipwrecks and countless variety of macro life. Comfortable and friendly dive resorts and liveaboards. For exciting diving in various parts of Indonesia. An underwater sanctuary for some of the most remarkable creatures. An extraordinary display of marine life amongst our renowned national marine parks. However, vast areas are yet to be explored by divers. The heart of the world's Coral Triangle Center. Home to over a quarter of the world's marine life. With more than 600 species of coral and over 3,000 fish species. A spectacular aquatic biosphere. Unlimited underwater adventure. Diving beyond imagination. Wonderful Indonesia.
A united journey isn't just about miles traveled, but milestones reached. That turns window seats into breathtaking views. We're sharing smiles, experiences, and connections that transcend language and culture. You realize you're not traveling to get away, but to get closer to yourself. Because it is travel that helps us discover that we are all more alike than we are different. And that this journey is just beginning.
Sick.
Connecting people, uniting the world.
Today, I woke up below the surface, where I learned to face my fears and go with the flow. But it's when I came to appreciate the big and the small, made new friends from all over, and could no longer hide my true colors, that I knew I'd emerged a local.
Hello, my dear friends. It's been a while since your last visit, but I want you to know I'm here. Here for you now and in better days ahead. Things may have slowed in your world, but it's anything but slow here. My reefs teem with colorful fish. Schooling hammerheads circle the deep. Playful dolphins roam the shallows. And gentle waves whisper, "Come back to me." I know you're spending hours dreaming of my underwater forest, of my soaring eagle rays, of my wise giant leatherback turtles, of my playful and friendly lions, of the stars that shine below, and the serenading humpback singing. And just as you are resetting, so am I. Everything is more vivid, more plentiful, brighter. I'll continue to surprise you more than ever before. We're always connecting, you and I. In me, you seek solace. And I promise to heal you and delight you. My creatures are calling. A new adventure is waiting. I'll see you soon.
He can sense his spirit, and like a feather Our island is a gift that we have shared with the world. But in the stillness of today, our island is asking everyone to give us a moment. To be with our family, Ifamagonte, our children, our grandchildren, Itanota, our land, our thoughts, to be creative. Fanhongi, to have faith. To be with the things we know and the things you've come to love. Give us a moment, and we will share one together soon.
Butterflies are under my skin. I can feel the wings trembling. They will save me from falling. Waves are bringing me back to the land. 100 hands are around me, but they will save me from falling. See the
Love the ocean, protect the ocean. Ocean Positive. Swimwear made from lost or abandoned fishing nets, recycled from the sea.
you.
Hi everyone, welcome to ADEX Pizza Virtual Expo session on every Wednesdays, which we particularly focus on blue economy and also on sustainability and education segment. So today, for this week, basically we are talking about waste management and of course to be in line with ADEX theme, which is to dedicate ourselves for a plastic-free ocean. Today we have brought together and convened panels from India, China, and also Indonesia to talk about how you could better manage your waste and also to reduce your single-use plastic consumption basically. So let me just briefly introduce this session is called Facing with Waste, where we're going to talk about the problem, the challenges, and the solution. Today we do have Alizée Buysschaert from Shanghai. Alizée, would you like to give us a wave a little bit?
Sure. Hi.
So we have Alizée here. Alizée is actually from Zero Waste Shanghai. Just a little bit of a slight introduction on Alizée is that she was born and raised in a small but beautiful country in Belgium. She has been very lucky that she grew up eating organic and fresh vegetables, spending her summers living in tents and living very close to nature. So she has been pretty lucky of us lot, basically. But recently she moved to Shanghai because she was finishing her bachelor degree in business management and a master in fashion and design management course. She then led to be a researcher on the circular economy model in the textile industry and later improve her skill set in environmental solution on a larger scale. We did spoke, and her current personal challenge is to reduce her carbon footprint on a personal level, inspired a lot by the people around her. And then after that, it kind of embarked into her wanting to share her experience on this topic in the city of Shanghai. So she channeled that energy to entrepreneurship and led her to start a social business together with her colleague or friend Clementine, where they bring these solutions to more people to create a greater impact. So she founded Zero Waste Shanghai beside her passion and also her environmental mission, which is to be reducing the carbon footprint. She's also an avid soul food traveler, a lifelong learner, and about different cultures basically, nature, and also an outdoor enthusiast. She's a runner, she's a cyclist, and she's a food adventurer. Who isn't when you're in Asia, right? So she's a crafter and also a lover of simplicity. So with this, I would like to introduce Alizée to just perhaps share with us a little bit more about Zero Waste Shanghai. And then after that, I will continue to introduce our other two panelists, which is Sahar Mansoor from Necessities, India, and also Buysschaert from Indonesia, Sustaination, Indonesia. So over to you, Alizée.
Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm going to, hi everyone, thank you so much for joining in this webinar. I'm going to share my screen to explain more about the zero waste and how we are. I think the visuals will help the understanding a bit better. So if it's okay, I'm going to just a minute, open this and share my screen with you guys. There we go. So I hope everyone can see my screen here. So I'll take some time to explain more about Zero Waste Shanghai and who we are. So like what said earlier, like for me, it started from a very like personal point of view. I didn't intend to start this company at all. It was created around a community that was in Shanghai first, and yeah, that was initiated by like just people wanting to change their mindsets. So today we are a unique environmental social startup. We act as a bridge between professionals, companies, and sustainability. We support people to achieve their sustainability goals through recognized rating systems. I'll get more into this afterwards, of their clients and stakeholders. We've been in China. This company has existed for almost 6 years, which coincides with when I came to China. And through our experiences and our expertise, we have created a sort of innovative approach to sustainability where we really simplify this huge concept to people, because sustainability is so vast. People understand different things through it, and our goal is to really simplify it. So we focus on a couple of things. Like for us, like the circular economy is the goal of everything that we try to, like everything that we do, we keep in our minds that the circular economy is where we want to go, because this is my expertise, and I believe this is the economy of tomorrow. Also, like we do a lot of sustainability training, because again, like the first step to change is education, and there's a huge lack of education even today around the world, but it's here in China as well. And I'm not just talking about like Chinese companies, because I work mostly with international companies. So there's a huge lack of understanding there as well. And then we do like also reporting, because when clients come to us to ask for sustainability support, it's usually not because they want to change, it's because they have to change. And so usually it's because of their clients and their stakeholders who put pressure on them to say, we need you to have this rating, we need you to have this goal. And so if we're able to support our clients to achieve what their clients are asking from them, that's basically why for us, reporting is such a big part of what we do. So like, I'm sure you know the 5 R's of zero waste. And if you don't, like, here is how it is applied to the business world. So as an individual level, we talk about refusing first, but in the circular economy, we talk about redesigning first. Because if a product is not made to be recycled, made to be repurposed, it will never be sustainable. And I think this is one of the biggest problems we have today, is that we're applying sustainable practices on a linear economic model. And this is just a waste of our time and our energy. So it starts with redesign, and then through redesign, we're able to reduce, reuse, repurpose, recycle, and eventually rot. Rot is at the end. Rot is when you turn food into value. Research has shown that 8 out of the top 20 biggest problems we have on the earth are linked to food waste. So yeah, that's not a whole other topic that I love to talk about at some point. So for us, like, waste is a sign of inefficiency. If we have waste, or if a company has waste, it's a sign that they're either losing money or they're losing resources. So for us, if we're able to help our clients by reducing their waste, then we're also reducing their costs, creating new revenue streams, but we're also reducing their environmental impact. Because let's be fair, like in the corporate world, their planet doesn't really matter as much, even though they say so. So like, we have to keep in mind that this is a business, and businesses are there for profits. So like, what do we do precisely? Well, it has kind of shifted over the years because we are a startup, but today we found that what we do best is to give our clients a roadmap to a sustainable or circular model. So it's a consulting service, but we bridge the gap between the unawareness and to sustainability, but we also change the company culture, because people don't want to educate their teams. It's very weird, but people want to change things, but they don't want to change their people. And if they don't change their people, they cannot be long-lasting change. So we heavily focus on the number one assets of companies, which is their employees. The second thing we do is again, like in the zero waste or sustainable world, there's not much credibility given to our work, to our industry, and to the mission that we try to push forward. And so for us, a way to like kind of give what we do like some legitimacy, we became true zero waste advisors. True certification is a certification given by a US program. You may have heard of LEED, L-E-E-D. Well, True is the little sister of LEED, and it's one of the most the world's most recognized rating systems, with China being their #1 market now, and secondly the US, but also very popular in Europe. So again, so this is a way for us to really show that we do things professionally, that we are backed up with the right organizations. And so we support companies who want to achieve a certification to do this through us. We have a masterclass, basically where we, in half a day, we educate everyone in the company on the same level of sustainability. On my LinkedIn page, I posted today a thing that everything you know about sustainability is wrong. Every day, like every week, I sit down with people and they tell me about their sustainable problems, and I am just surprised at how little people actually understand about this concept of sustainability. So the masterclass is a way for us to bring everyone in a company together and give them the education that they need, so that when afterwards we leave and they talk, the words that they use and the understanding is the same, which is so important in a company when we start a sustainability strategy. And then we do a lot of the fun stuff as well, like workshops, like hands-on activities to introduce the concept of sustainability, because we want to make this concept cool and fun, because if it's not cool and fun, like who would want to do it? And then of course, educational seminars, because again, education is important, but that's honestly the most boring thing that we do. Everything else is like a lot of fun. So here, I'm just sharing some pictures of what we do. This is a workshop with one of our clients where we introduce them to the sustainability lifestyle, zero-waste lifestyle. Our work with kids, this was a really old picture. Again, we have distributed so many compost bin workshops in Shanghai. It's insane, because again, like food waste is really huge, and by composting, you're able to turn your waste into value very quickly. And so yeah, this is our #1 most popular workshop. People love it. It's people of all ages. Again, like we're almost often invited to hotels or other locations to teach their community about zero waste and how they can be better. We work a lot with hotels to make them more sustainable as well and less plastic free. We work a lot with schools as well. 30% of our work last year was with schools. And again, we do a lot of like PR events with clients where we, again, here it was with a flooring company, and they had invited all of their clients and partners, and we talked about the importance of redesign, which was very fitted to this event. And then, yeah, other events that we hold for the community here in Shanghai with The Desk, a company based out of Hong Kong. And then we created a board game last year as well for the city of Shanghai to help people to know how to sort their waste, because China is pushing a lot on like waste separation. And so this is a board game that we have created to help people to understand better how to sort their waste properly. So it was a lot of fun with really cool questions. So this is just a recap of what I said earlier. Our approach to sustainability is to really break it down and simplify. We work in 3 phases, and we're super structured in the way that we do it, and we really do this in a way that is measured and that also like has a long-lasting effect. So we go through first, like the first phase is like a goal setting and assessment of current state of affairs. We do a zero waste audit because there's so much data already within companies, but they have no idea it's there. So before companies say to us like, oh, let's work together, we say yes, but first let us gather the data, because the problem that you may see might not be the biggest problems that you have. And then once we have all the data, we create a measurement system, and we also initiate the first internal education and communication part. And then lastly, we start really implementing change step by step. But we do it gradually without big expectations. We really make it realistic. And we're not like, we're chasing for the stars, but we're doing it in a way that is doable and doesn't impede on the commercial strategy of the companies. So this is the certification I was talking about earlier. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but if you want to know more about this certification, you can head to gbci.org. Yeah, so this is what we do. Basically, this is a certification that we are associated with to bring more solutions to companies. And so the latest thing that we've been working on lately is with COVID happening, we were like, okay, well, our one-to-one work with companies is fun, but it's not as effective because we really need everyone in the world to have access to what we have, to the knowledge that we have, because we do have a lot of knowledge. So we created an online program called PACE. PACE stands for Pivoting to a Circular Economy. And it's a super practical, pragmatic, and simple online sustainability course with guided exercises for any professional that wants to start like changing things in their companies, but doesn't really know where to start. So it's a yearly membership. It has 3 boxes. One of the boxes is the online course. So this is where we give everything. Like our entire business model is inside this online course. We give like email scripts. We give what else do we do? We give like the Excel sheets that we use, everything that we use with our clients, we put inside the online course because we want people to become zero waste teams. Like we want them to take our knowledge and like apply it within their company. Then the second box is when we're going to meet companies who do awesome, super cool things already within sustainability, and then we're going to bring this as well to the public. So we want to show people like this is what these companies are doing, and maybe, I don't know, inspire people, inspire companies, give ideas. But we'll do this through video, AI, VR, because it's really, really like, again, sexy and fun to do, to really want it, so people want to dive into sustainability. And then the last box, which is my favorite, is called the Champs or the Champions, and this is where we're going to interview champions within sustainability of specific industries and bring their stories, their knowledge to as well the people who are part of PACE. So this is basically, this is not linked to China. This is really like everywhere. This has launched like a month ago, and we're really happy about it. This is what it looks like inside. Again, it's like super, like it's 80% practical and 20% theoretical. So because we want people to act on sustainability, that we're done. The theory is fine. You can like intellectualize sustainability for like a long time, but we want people to start acting upon it. And then, yeah, if you want to know more about what do we do, we have an upcoming webinar on June 17th, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. China time. You can register on our website, zerowasteshanghai.com. This is just for people who want to know more about PACE or like the circular economy or whatever we're doing. It's for free, by the way. Here there's more info on PACE if you want, and who we are, like on WeChat, if you have WeChat, wherever you are. And then, yeah, basically then these are just people that we work with. Yeah, and then just one last quote that we kind of like live by is like, it doesn't matter how slowly you go, as long as you don't stop. This is really what we share with our clients and the people in our community. Yeah, and I think that's all for me. You can find us on like WeChat, LinkedIn, Instagram, of course. Yeah, and happy to answer any questions you may have. I went really fast. I didn't want to take too much time, but at the same time, I want to share like things that we that are available for people to get started on sustainability.
Thank you, Alizée. I must say that that was a very informative sharing, and I'm sure that every panel here and also the question and also the public has a lot of questions you want to ask about waste management, circular economy, and also other questions in regards to how China and Shanghai manage their waste as well. But let's wait. Let's just keep that on hold and put that session right at the back of this particular session. So I'm going to move on with our next panelist. So we have Sahar Mansoor here. She is the founder and CEO of Bare Necessities, a hub for zero waste living in India. So currently, a very cute fact is that Sahar has currently 500 grams of jar of all the waste she has produced in 3 years. She built Bare Necessities, a social enterprise that produces zero waste personal and lifestyle products. And BN, for short for Bare Necessities, was titled as one of the top 5 handcrafted in India brand by Harper's Bazaar in 2017. So her work in changing the narrative of waste in India, Sahar has been recognized by Google India as the most inspiring Indian of the year in 2017. NDTV named her as a SWOG warrior, in 2017 as well. And MTV India, in association with Jockey Women, featured her as one of 6 women to redefine career path for the 21st century in 2018. So Sahar is a University of Cambridge alumni with a background in environmental policy. Sahar initially worked at the World Health Organization in Geneva, and also Selco Foundation on renewable energy projects. She currently freelances at Huffington Post UK and India. Sahar also attended the INSEAD Business School for an executive education program on social entrepreneurship in 2018, and also a climate reality leader, which have received the climate reality training from VP Al Gore in 2019. Sahar is also a climate launchpad mentor and a global shaper at the World Economic Forum. Sahar has also appeared on Al Jazeera stream. I'm sorry, we have to go on. NDTV live news show talking about plastic pollution and other noteworthy publication, which includes Vogue, Elle, Femina, India Today magazines, and among others. So let's not wait any further. Let's just bring forth to Sahar to share a little bit about bare necessities with us. Sahar, over to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that introduction that made me sound way cooler than I actually am. So I'm going to quickly share my screen as well and take you through a few slides, and I'll try and be nice and swift and quick since I think Ali already did a really good job with setting the stage. So let's talk trash today. So welcome. I'm going to share a little bit about my zero waste journey, how I got started, maybe share a few tips and tricks that you can incorporate into your lifestyle, and then a little tell you about how Bare Necessities came to be. So growing up, I spent lots of time in nature. Family holidays meant jumping into waterfalls, coffee picking, road trips. Every weekend meant we were just, climbing trees, falling off of trees, because I have 2 big sisters, and keeping up with them. Often, I think I was getting just lost and falling down more than I was actually attempting to climb trees. But this was kind of very, very typical of our every weekend growing up. But I think it was when I went to university in California, when I watched a short documentary of Bea Johnson, who really is the guru of the zero waste movement, and credit must be given to her, but it's due, who really put this movement on the globe when people weren't talking about it and it wasn't such a big thing. And watching this short documentary of Bea really, really kind of shifted things for me. I think I'd always been an environmentalist, I was carrying my own water bottle or something little. But really, after taking this course and watching this short documentary on her life, and that jar that she's holding, that is all of the waste she, her 2 kids, and her husband had produced in 4 odd years. And I remember being just completely inspired, but also thinking, man, I have a scholarship to maintain, I have 3 jobs on campus, I don't think I could do it. But nevertheless, fast forward a few years, and I did study environmental economics and environmental policy and try and take it further. Of course, we have set the stage. We know what marine pollution is doing, especially right now. I think a lot of single-use masks are being produced. So I'm going to take the opportunity to encourage everyone to use their own reusable cloth mask, and you can wash it out with hot water in order to clean it out before you reuse it again. So actually, fast forward some time, and I worked at the World Health Organization in Geneva during the Ebola outbreak, which is actually really interesting right now as we're experiencing this pandemic, to kind of see how we are reacting to it. And I think at that time, I really learned how the power of countries to come together to really act swiftly, which was something quite new, because being in the environmental sphere, you see a lot of developing countries versus developed countries rhetoric, and there's a little bit of blame game. So I feel like sometimes we don't move so swiftly on climate action. But working there at the World Health Organization during the outbreak really kind of shifted perspectives for me and said, wow, a lot can happen if you actually work swiftly and quickly together. So again, fast forward a few years, I moved back to India in 2015, and I actually started working with waste pickers all around Bangalore. And essentially, of course, noticed the human rights violations that are going on here, and just the conditions in which everyone is segregating waste and collecting waste with their absolute bare naked hand, with very, very minimal equipment. And I think our waste issue in a lot of countries is a social justice issue. I think for many years also developed countries have shipped off their waste to developing countries. And then disproportionately in our countries, it's in low income neighborhoods. So I think just on a value system, I think it's where, saying that someone else's air or land is less valuable than someone else's. So essentially, I followed them around town, and I was also working with them on a solar lantern project to help them gain energy access, because they were all living in very, very informal houses, just blue tarps, blue plastic, just really kind of informal housing. They weren't living in, concrete or mud houses or anything. So this again shifted perspectives things for me internally again. And I thought back to my class that I took as a college freshman, and I decided to try that really crazy thing that Pia Johnson was doing. I decided to try a zero waste lifestyle. So I think zero waste can be a little bit intimidating, but the idea is, as far as possible, you're going to reduce your waste to zero, right? And I think you've got to shoot for the moon, and maybe you'll hit the stars, and that's okay. So it's a pretty aspirational goal, but I think we should have goals. So how do I get started? I think the easiest thing I started with was just buying all of my food package free. And in India, I think our bazaars are something that have been so inherent in our Indian culture. Somewhere along the way with urbanization, we started buying pre-dictated amount of packaged food. But actually, our bazaars are something that are a sense of culture and identity, and pretty democratic, if you ask me, because you're buying as much as you want to consume. Second, I started composting my food waste. Again, it's just with a terracotta pot, which is made by local Indian artisans, creating employment opportunities, supporting local economy in the process. And you can see it has a little few holes on it, which is really cool because it just helps with aeration and helps speed up the process of composting. The next thing I did, of course, was just start using a bamboo toothbrush, but actually also in India, if you look at ancient Ayurveda, we use traditionally the neem sticks or the miswak sticks. So actually the neem sticks have been used since the Indus Valley civilization, while the miswak sticks have been used in the Babylonian civilization. So these are just natural twigs that we can use to brush our teeth. So I think on my zero waste journey, I started to realize more and more that a lot of these things are just traditionally Indian. And in a way, we were just advocating for going back to our roots. And I think a lot of countries would have experienced the same thing. A lot of Asian countries, I think a lot of ways we were doing this already, and then urbanization, happened, and then convenience, we got swept up with this. We want this to go coffee quickly in the morning, all that, food delivered really quickly. But actually, the bazaars that we have are something that are really traditional. Another thing I want to talk about is the stainless steel tiffin. Again, from an Indian perspective, this is an 18th century Indian invention, which is a combination of food, equipment, as you can see, but also a supply chain system. So actually, every day, over 5 million Mumbai people, citizens of Mumbai, get home delivered amazing, healthy, home cooked meals. By creating employment opportunities for over 6,000 dabbawalas who actually hand deliver these over a cycle and a network. And there have been various case studies from Harvard to Oxford about how the margin of error from these dabbawalas are close to zero. So just imagine telling some of our more startup food delivery systems that this has been existing for so many years, all without producing zero waste. Okay. Just trying to, taking a minute to load. Cool. So I think easy switches that we all can do. I think we already know, using a menstrual cup, carrying your own straws, or whether it's bamboo or stainless steel. I'm going to just kind of quickly go over them. Little things like, using cloth to wipe down your countertops rather than using paper towels, reinventing leftovers. In terms of our clothing choices, really picking ethical fashion, buying more mindfully, investing in a piece rather than, just consuming these fast fashion brands, because of course we know a lot about the human rights violations that take place in this industry. Even now, as the world experiences the worst pandemic, we know that cancellations worth $1.3 trillion have taken place, primarily in Bangladesh and other developing countries who produce fast fashion clothing. So a quick little DIY is, if you have a bunch of old t-shirts, these are a bunch of my shirts from college that I was really sentimental to get rid of. I just converted them into a little quilt. So things that you can do is reinventing your own, try and do little DIYs with clothes that you might have currently in your closet. While you travel, well, I guess none of us are going to be traveling for a while, but when we do travel, I think it's important to be mindful. What that means, carrying your own headphones, etc. You can get extra few minutes to finish your movie, even if you carry your own. But also just think about the system behind it, because it's often packaged in plastic, goes through cleaning, again comes back in single-use plastic, and you're just really avoiding. You could quite easily avoid that. So while I was going through my zero waste journey, I realized that we have a world that has landfill destined products, and we need zero waste products. Another way that we can say this is that we need products with cradle to cradle design, with circularity in mind. And that's why we created Bare Necessities, which just makes it easy and accessible for anyone else who's looking to consume more mindfully. So we source our raw materials ethically from a bunch of agrarian farmers. A lot of them have helped solarize their agri equipment while I was at my previous job. And we basically create employment opportunities. We care about upskilling. So all of the women in the manufacturing unit are learning English, have learned computer skills, and we basically help them in this process of upskilling. Of course, provide health insurance and other necessities that they need to live, and just basically become the person that they might want to, and really help them, guide them along their way with whatever career goals that they might have. So for example, someone who started off in the manufacturing unit, then just became manufacturing lead, then assistant operation manager, and now is really helping streamline all of our operations. And then again, all of our products are packaged in a recycled, reusable, or completely compostable packaging. So this is our manufacturing team, few photos about how they produce. These are some of our products. Beeswax wrap, which is a great alternative to aluminum foil or single-use plastic, cling film, bamboo straws, cutlery, because we are currently experiencing the largest global garbage crisis of our lifetime. And if any of us are divers in the room like I am, who've definitely seen the amount of plastic increase in the water. So we're just trying to provide solutions. For example, one stainless steel straw that you could use, you can avoid over 10,000 plastic straws in your lifetime. So we also have an online course to make it easy and accessible for anyone else who's looking to consume more mindfully and doesn't know where to start. So we have 25 different DIY videos, we have 100+ resources, we have waste log activities, and even a bunch of experts' insights from around the sphere. I'm going to quickly just show you a little video. Great, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Sahar, for that really eye-opening what kind of solutions that you are giving with regards to what's happening in India. I mean, like myself and the ADEX team has spent a short period of time in India last year during our ADEX India show in Mumbai, and we do have a couple of questions we want to ask, but like what I said, we're just gonna leave it and keep it to the end of the session while we introduce our next panelist, which is Tyas from Indonesia, Sustaination Indonesia, that's going to tell us a little bit more about her initiative with regards to keeping it minimal on waste. So just to share a little bit of information with regards on Buysschaert, or rather endearingly known as Tyas. Tyas is actually an environmental activist and advocate. She founded Sustaination as a platform to educate the audience about the importance of eco-conscious living and to provide practical solutions for a smooth transition towards more sustainable living in Indonesia. Apparently, for the last 2 years, Tyas has already been using Sustaination social media account and also website as a platform for her to spread the awareness on keeping it low in terms of impact lifestyle for Indonesia audiences. So Dwi or Tyas, perhaps I'll pass the mic over to you to just share with us a little bit more about what is Sustaination Indonesia.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm gonna just share the deck. So yeah, thank you so much for the introduction. I'm Tyas. It's my full name is a very long and difficult name, but you can call me Tyas. I'm a mother of one child. I have one daughter. She's now 2 years old, and I'm running a small startup called Sustaination Indonesia. And it all started with this video. Maybe it circulated around the world when there was a diver who dived in Nusa Lembongan, Bali, and he had this video with manta, which swim around with him in the ocean with full of trash. And I'm also a diver, and it's breaking my heart when I saw the video, because before this video circulate around the world, I was there a year before, and it was completely fine without trash. And it was like a heartbreaking moment, and it's like I had to do something, but what can I do? And I started with my with myself, and I started to educate myself in terms of articles, papers, and I found that so many articles that eye-opening. For example, these 2 articles that I found from National Geographic that say that microplastics is found already in human poop, and also it's microplastic found in 90% of the table salt. It's everywhere. It's inside our body, and I was like shocked at that moment. So it's not only destroying our environment; it's also dangerous for ourselves, for our body. And this is the landfill that I just know for a couple years ago, like 2 years back, when I started to think about my trash, about the plastic pollution that's happening around the world. And I started to search around what's happening with my trash in my home. And turns out I live in Jakarta, nearby Jakarta. And every house in Jakarta, when I throw away my trash in front of my house, they are bringing my trash into this place called Bantar Gebang. It's the landfill here by Jakarta. It looks like this. It's a mountain of trash. It's so big that you cannot see the entire place if you're not using a drone with a camera. So it's breaking my heart. And also I found that it's not just landfill, but there are a lot of family living in nearby the landfill. So there are children, there are families, there are workers, and people actually living together with the trash, our trash, my trash, and people's trash. It's not their trash. It's people who live in Jakarta who throw away their trash in front of their house. And it's not just like residual trash. I also found that they also collect like a medical trash. So you can find like like medical stuffs, like the injection and then everything. And it's very dangerous for the workers who work like separating the trash in the landfill. And then I was like so confused and what should I do now? And at the time I lived in the Netherlands because I studied there for a couple of years. And I was so confused because in the Netherlands, we separate our trash in 5 different categories, and they pick the trash up every once a week or twice a week. And when I'm back here in Indonesia, it's a very different. Like nobody wants to separate the trash, and I'm so confused because nobody set up the compost bin. When I'm living in the Netherlands, I just throw away my organic waste, and they will pick it up to, and send it to the like industrial composting facilities. So yeah, I'm confused. So this is like the trash bin, that normal trash bin that you can look at normal households in Indonesia. This is not like this bad, but the picture is that we have organic and unorganic materials into one bin. So we don't separate our trash very well. It's stinking, it's bad, it's ugly, and I don't like it. So and during that time I'm scrolling around the Google and searching for articles, and then I found these 2 beautiful people. They are Bea Johnson, that is shared already with Buysschaert, and also another person called Laura Singer, and they are practicing zero waste lifestyle. Oh, zero waste, it's a very new term for me. Like, how can you not producing any trash in your life? It's, for me, it's impossible, because for me it's like every human should produce trash, right? Like it's like a normal thing to do, right? I don't know how can we not produce any trash, but these 2 beautiful people can do it, so why cannot I? So I started with my trash audit. So I looked back at my trash, and I saw that there are so many plastic packaging that are not necessary, like plastic wraps, like snacks in a plastic packaging, and everything. Like, oh, maybe I can reduce these things, because when I buy tomatoes, I don't need the plastic packaging, right? I only eat and I only need the tomatoes. I don't need the plastic packaging. So I found that there are so many unnecessary packaging in my trash, so that I can reduce them. And then I'm practicing the thing before you buy, the terms that I found during my learning towards zero waste living. So this is the, like, I always practice to always think before I want to buy something. For example, if I really need this thing, is it really needed in my life, or do I have something similar at home, or maybe can I have the one that is broken at home and it can be fixed by local reparation shop here, or maybe can I borrow it, or maybe can I do it myself, or like make it myself, or maybe can I rent it, or maybe can I buy it secondhand, or maybe I have to think if this thing add value to my life. And then if everything is going through this flow chart, and if it's yes, then I will buy this thing. So it's like a comprehensive thinking that I made before I want to buy something. So in a way, if I think before I buy, then I will just buy the things that I need. So I will reduce the risk of the trash will going inside my house. And then I try to go plastic free shopping, because like I said, when I buy tomatoes, I don't need the plastic packaging, I don't need the plastic wrappers, I don't need the plastic packets, I only need the tomatoes. So I started to go bulk shopping in a traditional market. or the farmers market nearby, and it's doable. Even though if I have to go to the supermarket, like during this time in COVID-19, it's still doable to go plastic-free shopping. So this way, I'm reducing my plastic packaging waste in my house. And then I started to separate my waste. When I lived in the Netherlands, I separate my waste because I have to. Otherwise, they don't want to pick up my trash. But when I'm in Indonesia, I don't have to separate my waste because they will just pick my waste up like no matter what. So I started to think how I separate my waste in my house, just starting in my house. I'm sorry, but this is like the flow chart I made in local Indonesian language so that people here will easily understand. But in general, I separate my waste in my house into organic waste, into an unorganic waste. For the organic waste, I made compost. And for unorganic waste, I don't just throw them away in my trash bin in front of my house, but I send it to the waste bank nearby my house. Because if I just throw it away in front of my house, they will pick it up and they will send my trash to the landfill that I showed you earlier in this slide. So I have to know where is the waste bank nearby my house, but I couldn't find it. So it's very difficult. I don't want to throw my trash away to the landfill, but I also don't know what to do. So that is the background why I make Sustaination. It is very difficult for Indonesian people to, look up resources like when I read about Bea Johnson and Lauren Singham, they are all right in English, and not many people in Indonesia are privileged to understand English. They don't even not all of them can read English, speak English very well. So it's a very privilege for me to be able to read the articles in English, but I don't want those lots of Indonesian people feel not privileged enough to start zero waste living, right? So I made Sustaination to be able to separate the news, separate the awareness about sustainable living, about zero waste living in local language, adjusting it to our local wisdom. For example, if Lauren Singham goes to farmers market, we don't have farmers market, but we always have traditional market who sell in the bulk nearby our neighborhood. So we can say we can go to traditional market or to the traditional shop nearby our house and we can buy bulk shopping, something like that. So we are adjusting our language into our local culture and local language here so that people are easy to understand what is sustainable or zero waste living. So they can just click and start it away from today. So I started Sustaination because I want Indonesia to be a sustainable nation, hence Sustaination. So I started with a blog, with a podcast, to bring the awareness, to bring the hype so that people can know more about sustainable living and zero waste living. And with the blog, with the podcast. But then I realized that not so many people selling the eco-friendly stuff here in Indonesia, and it's very difficult to find the reusable stuff for replacing the disposable stuff that we have currently now. And that's my challenge as well. And when I do transition from for today's living and to more towards sustainable living, it's very hard because not many shops selling these goods. So I started Sustaination shop back in the 2019, so it's 1 year ago. And we provide products that are we provide products that are curated. So most of them are local, but if we cannot source it locally, we import it. Some of them still are imported from the suppliers that have a similar mission with us. And currently we also offer workshops and talks so that we can bring the knowledge to more people, to the companies, to the schools, so that they are like more aware with the issues. So in Sustaination, we support Sustainable Development Goals in 2030. There are some goals that we are playing with, but yeah, I just skip it because I'm sure that you already know. And we also have 3 different initiatives. The first one is Blue Beauty ID, when we promote the beauty products, personal care products. They are made locally by our local partners, and these products have to be vegan, cruelty-free, and 100% natural, so that we're providing like the transitioning products from the people who live just normal life and to be a more sustainable and low impact life. And we also plant trees when people shop in our e-commerce, and we also promoting the Think Before You Buy campaign. I know it's a very weird concept when we are operating as an e-commerce or as a shop, but we tend to educate the shoppers or want to be shoppers to not buy our stuffs when they don't need it. So it's a very weird concept that we carry, but we believe that if people buy the things from our shop, they are already think about why they need it and why they buy it from us. So these are our promises that 80% of our products are locally sourced from the vendors that share the same values as ours. So it has to be like from the vendors that are aware of the environmental impact of their products and the packaging, how they make the products, who made the products, like something like that. And our products are made from sustainable, compostable, and recyclable materials. So less plastic materials, and we try our best to make sure our package arrives safely. And these are all the products that we carry. We have menstrual hygiene products, cloth diaper, personal care products, and composting devices. We also do the talks and workshop for the schools, the companies, and in the 2020 this year January, I launched a book called Sustaination as well, and we did the launching party with our community. It's very fun. So Sustaination starts only one person, but now it's a movement. So we can always start from ourselves from today. And I just wanted to share this quote that is I forgot who say that, because we don't need a few people doing zero waste perfectly. We need millions doing it imperfectly. So it's just like, pushing so hard that people should start today. So yeah, that's all from me. I'm sorry that it's taking you so long.
Thank you so much, Tyas. That was a very interesting sharing where you look into a person's a consumer behavior perspective, and also what should goes into one's mentality in terms of consumption, especially regard to reducing single-use plastic. So I would like to invite all our panelists to go on video right now as we proceed on with question and answers. So we have Sahar here. We're waiting for Alizée and Alizée and also Dewey. Right. Okay, so we do have one question because throughout all this conversation that we had, one topic that actually came to mind is that every country faces their very own issues with regards to handling plastic waste or single-use plastic waste. And I have a question by Renee River, one of our guests actually, or a viewer. She asked that in her country, we use our supermarket grocery bags as trash bags for our household. Is that considered recycling? What do you suggest as an alternative to contain the trash at home for disposal? Well, with regards to Renee, Singapore practices the same as well. Perhaps you would like to share a little bit more information or advice on that. Shall we start with Alizée? I'm sorry, Alizée, you're on mute at the moment.
I'm sorry, like the connection, I couldn't hear you. Like the connection was bad. Can you repeat your comments on the question?
The question is, in my country, we use our supermarket grocery bags as trash bags for our household disposal. Is that considered recycling? And the next question would be, what do you suggest as an alternative to contain trash at home for disposal?
Okay, so for me, so to answer the first question, for me, it's not called recycling; it's called reusing. So, like, fine if you use your grocery bags as trash bags for your in your household, that's fine. I personally use other things for the trash that I create at home. Like, for example, if I buy a toilet paper, for example, it comes in one big bag together, and I don't want to buy plastic bags, but at the same time, I don't have plastic bags when I go out and I do groceries. So then I use that plastic bag to contain my trash. I have friends who use their cat litter, their dog's food bags as a trash bag. So for me, it's not recycling. Recycling is the process of either downcycling or upcycling. It's when you turn like a material back to its original component. So it's not recycling. Recycling is something completely different. It's called reusing. An alternative to reduce trash at home. Honestly, I think all the tips that were given earlier by Sahar and Dewey is basically, that's it. It's like it starts with the small things. Composting is a huge part of it. And yeah, like again, we create the most trash in our bathroom and our kitchen. That's why we create the most trash. I have nothing else to add to what the two other girls said. There's so much content you can find online. You just type in zero waste in YouTube or wherever, and you have so many alternatives to contain the trash at home for this. Like for me, it's about reducing, and then afterwards you can deal with how to get rid of it properly. Like reduce first.
Sahar, would you like to add on that question, please?
I think that was a really perfect answer. I would also just say the first thing that you can do is segregate your waste. So into your organic waste, which is all of your waste, compost that. And by composting that, you're already reducing your waste by 60 to 70%. And then you'll have your recyclables, your second category, which is maybe if you have a plastic bottle or cardboard, etc., that you might want to recycle, but actually it's downcycling. But anyway, add another life to it. Then the third thing you could do is categorize your e-waste. So if you have old chargers, etc. And then the fourth thing is reject waste. So if you happen to have a Band-Aid or a diaper or something like that. So first thing you would do is categorize my waste and then compost my food waste. And yeah, that's something that you can do.
Thank you, Sahar. Dwi, would you like to add on that question?
Yeah, I think Sahar and Alizée already made a good point. I just want to add that it also happened here in Indonesia when people tend to grab the free plastic bags from the grocery stores to reuse it to line the trash bin in their house. And when we segregate our waste properly, like the Sahar already mentioned, into the anorganic waste and organic waste, and we start to compose in our house, we don't really get the wet waste. We only produce the clean and dry waste. So whenever we created like plastic bottles or pouch from sachets or whatever, that the trash that you already made at home, you can always wash them and dry them. So in a way that when you put it in the recycle bank or waste bank, it has value to be recycled. When you send the waste to the waste bank in a wet and dirty condition, they don't have any value for money, so it's not recyclable anymore. So it is important to make the recyclables and organic waste to be clean and dry. So you don't, when you have this dry and clean waste at your home, you don't really need to line your bin anymore. So you have this like dry and organic waste and compost. So you don't really need to line your bin anymore. You don't need a plastic bag.
Thank you so much, Tias. Just one question, but I just need you to just give me one word answer. In your own local country, what kind of waste do you normally see in your own local grounds? Like, for example, in Singapore, we do notice a lot of PET bottles. How about in India, followed by Shanghai and also India? Sahar.
Definitely just plastic waste, food packaging, personal care packaging. That's the biggest trash I see around.
Yeah, in China, we are really big on takeout food. Takeout food is so popular. People have takeout food all the time. That's a huge problem.
Yeah, in Indonesia, I see a lot of sachet, but also organic waste is take up the most of the space in landfill as well. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for all our panelists who took your time out to be a part of this discussion and dialogue, all the way from India, Shanghai, and also Indonesia. Although we do have a lot of questions actually that we would like to have all you three panelists to actually, if it's possible, to actually answer us or answer these questions on ADEX Facebook itself. I think that would be fantastic. Also, before we end off this session, I just would like to share with everybody what's coming up today. Let me just share my screen. Sorry, just give me a moment. Okay, so today, coming up next would be an Ocean Citizens session where we ask the jet lag. The jet lag are actually underwater filmmakers, and they are known for making underwater films to save the ocean one film at a time. So do stay tuned with us just to ask them any questions you want to know about conservation films. The next would be A Love is an Action, exclusive book review on Loving Kai. Loving Kai is a book that is curated from this founder of To Live For, Paul Knoll, and also Donna Marie Bordeaux. So Josh O'Neill, which is also the founder of Love is an Action and also the Little Club Project, will be sharing with us a little bit more insights on this book that will go on sale on World Oceans Day itself on the 8th of June, and all proceeds will go to ocean conservation non-profit organizations. And we also have a next session which will be featuring a dialogue exchange between an environmental and social impact strategist from Canada, Laura Francois, and also environmental artist, activist, and also photographer. He's actually very well known for his work called Plastic Nation and his artwork on straws, where they're going to discuss about the state of convenience, which is talking about single-use plastic as well. And last but not least is our video compilation by the Jet Lag of all their videos that they have created for our inspiration. Thank you once again, every panel, and I hope to see you in discussion again in the near future. And if there's any last tips you want to give our audience, please do so. Can we have one line from you guys? Shall we start with Sahar?
Just do it.
Alizée, what's yours? Alizée, you're on mute.
Sorry, I was saying like educate yourself. That's a big thing, and also like lead by example. Don't push this on other people. Just lead by example.
And lastly, do you have any last tips for everyone?
Start today.
Thank you so much, everybody. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.